Leon, please turn off your camera. Shabbat Shalom to everyone. It is a pleasure to have you with us wherever you are in the world today. Tonight is a night of celebration and jubilation as well, as we install a new slate of officers, board members, and 80 board members, our temple youth. This is a moment of rebirth and celebration that I'll talk about later. But with everything happening in the world right now, with all of the changing of the season, but also the reminder of what's going on health-wise out there, especially in India. We know that life is never just purely joy or purely sadness, but is always a combination of both. But on Shabbat, we are supposed to find complete joy. So no matter how your week has been, and I know for some of you it has been a week of great loss, try and find something now before we begin Shabbat that you are grateful for, either within your own life or grateful for something that someone else has done or has been a part of your life for. That way, we can enter Shabbat together, maybe with joy, maybe with a little sadness, but either way, with a heart full of gratitude.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Ina Horn, and it is my pleasure to welcome everyone near and far to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. Whether you are watching on live stream, Facebook, or YouTube, we are happy that you are part of our community and joining us this evening. Let us now feel the warmth of Shabbat as we invite the Krigsman family, Stephanie, Andrew, Jacob, and Lucas, to lead us in the blessings as they light the Shabbat candles in honor of Jacob's bar mitzvah tomorrow. Mazel tov to the entire Krigsman family. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own days, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue now with the singing of Lecha Dodi on pages 20 and 21. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem l'tiferet v'litehila. Lecha Dodi Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor ha'beracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בידי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קרבה אל נפשי גאלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשתכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר על תילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשיסה שוסייך ורחקו, כה מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, תמסוס חתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש, בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise in either body or spirit.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone. We continue on page 26 for the singing of Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו Amen.
We rise now in either body or spirit for the Baruch Hu.
Yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai da dai, yai dai 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 dai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv arvim. B'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך אהבת, אהבת עולם, אותנו למדת. אהבת עולם, בישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך אהבת, אהבת עולם, אותנו למדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם אותנו לימדת כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו בהם נהגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אהבת עולם אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם לעולם ועד.
If you are standing, please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי, זה לי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. V'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ananana sfatai tiftach, ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai, ananana sfatai tiftach, ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai, ananana sfatai tiftach, ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai, ananana sfatai tiftach, ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha. Anananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tifta. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somek noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Ulmido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata le'achayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim bechol yom yahalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Take a moment now for Tfilat Halev, the personal and private prayer of your heart. If you have a prayer book in front of you, you can use those prayers, but more importantly, use the prayers that are inscribed upon your heart, after which you may be seated if you are standing.
Adonai, Suri ve'goali. Ose shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel ve'imeru. Amen.
We continue now with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for reading the Torah, found on page 246. Please rise in either body or spirit.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael. B'kedushato ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti, u'neromema Shemo yachdav. Al shlosha devarim, Ashlosha devarim, Ashlosha devarim, haolam amen. Ashlosha devarim, Ashlosha devarim, Ashlosha devarim, haolam amen. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim.
If you're standing, please be seated. Tonight, the cantor is going to be chanting from the beginning of Parshat Bahar, of our two-part Torah portion of Bahar, Bechukotai. And I was looking at what he was reading and trying to see what we could glean from it for our installation Shabbat. It is about the Jubilee year and how you're supposed to sow and plant and harvest for 49 years. But in the 49th year, we take a break because it's the Jubilee year and you don't let anything happen to the ground. When reflecting on how we install officers and board members and our 80 youth and our new president, I saw the connection in how we enjoy rebirth. The Jubilee year enables us to have the earth come alive again. It wasn't that what was past was bad. In fact, you were getting bountiful fruit, and it was good, and everything was great. But it was a reminder not to be complacent with that which you are enjoying, and to allow for rebirth and renewal, and to not overplenish the world. When we install new officers and board members, we are recommitting ourselves to the promise of tomorrow. We are acknowledging that a period of time has passed and that it's time to restart again. This is a cycle that has been going on for 161 years. about to be 162 this fall. For 161 years, we have been installing officers and board members. And Ina tonight will become our 61st president. Every time we do this is as if we are celebrating a new beginning and the promise of tomorrow, which is what our Torah portion is all about. I want to ask onto our call this evening David Levine and Lisa Levine. David is our immediate past president, and it is our honor to call them tonight for Aliyah LeTorah, our Aliyah for reading the Torah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Havarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe behar Sinai lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta aleihem ki tavo el haaretz asher ani noten lachem Veshavta haaretz Shabbat l'Adonai. Sheishanim tizra sadecha, Vesheishanim tizmor karmecha, Ve'asavta et tevuata. Uvashana hashvi'it, Shabbat Shabbaton yeh la'aretz, Shabbat l'Adonai. Tzadcha lo tizra, v'charmecha lo tizmor. Et sefiach ketzircha lo tiktzor, ve'et invei nezirecha lo tivtzor. Shenat Shabbaton yeh la'aretz. Hayta Shabbat haaretz lachem le'ochla lecha ule'avdecha ve'la'amatecha ve'lizkircha ule'tushavecha ve'gerim imach ve'la'amatecha ve'la'chaya asher be'artzecha tiyeh chol tevuata lechol.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yadai dai 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 dai, yadai dai dai dai, yadai dai 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 dai, yadai dai dai, yadai dai dai, yadai dai, yadai dai. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yadai dai dai dai, yadai dai dai, yadai dai dai dai.
We continue on page 256 Yahalu et Shem Adonai kin yisgav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted. Please rise.
Hodo al eretz v'shamayim vayarem keren amo tehila lechol chasidav livnei Yisrael Am Kerovo. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Torat Adonai Tmima Mishivat Nafesh Edut Adonai Nemana Machimat Peti. God's Torah is perfect, reviving the soul. God's teaching is sure, making wise the simple. God's precepts are right, delighting the mind. God's mitzvot are clear, giving light to the eyes. God's word is pure, enduring forever. God's judgments are true and altogether just.
Eitz chayim
Please be seated.
Lamachazikim ba v'tomeche ha'meushar Derachea darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom Hashivenu Adonai Eilecha ונשובה חדש חדש ימינו חדש ימינו כקדם.
As I mentioned earlier, we have been installing officers, board members, and presidents for 161 years. This sacred act that we are about to commit is yet another installation that puts us in a sacred balance with the past and also connects us to the future. Tonight, as we install Ina Horn as our 61st president, we add another link to that chain. When we have a bar bat mitzvah here, I often talk to the B'nai Mitzvah about what does it mean to be a link in the chain. We'll go over this when we talk about their speech. I ask them, what are they going to do to help strengthen Judaism, to make sure that there's another link next to you? Tonight is a reminder that Ina is being installed because there were strong links that came before her. And I have no doubt that she and all of our other installees this evening will do everything they can to help strengthen Anshe Emeth, to strengthen Judaism, and to make sure that our temple will be here for another 161 years. As I call on our new officers, trustees, and youth board, as I call your name, I'm going to invite you to turn on your screen so that everyone can see you. First, it is an honor to have with us Ina Horn, who is being installed as our temple president. As our first vice president, we have Allison Warzala. As our second vice president, we have David Snyder. As our treasurer, we have Andrea Schoen. As our financial secretary, we have Laura Leibowitz. As our recording secretary, we have Amy Warner. And as our secretary at large, we have Neil Silver. Our incoming trustees are Howard Firestone, Genevieve Frace, Lori Ginsberg, Brian Goldenfarb, Leon Gurovich, and Kevin Lynn, and Jeffrey Roth. And for our 80 Youth Board, we have Avery Lipkin as our president. As our programming vice president, Morgan Kovac. As our social action VP, we have Max Hutkin. For our religious and cultural vice president, we have Sarah Brown. As our treasurer, we have Joseph Angelo. For our communications vice presidents, we have Samson Trachak. As our membership vice president, we have Julia Rosenblum. For our Israel vice president, we have Paxton Furr. And as our 9th grade representative, we have Julian Senek-Kamen. We have a benediction and a prayer to offer all of you. Because it is call and response and this is Zoom, I'm going to ask you that you read along but stay muted, and Ina Horn will read the trustee, officer, and youth board part on behalf of all of you aloud. Please rise in body or spirit, but if you're on a Zoom camera, well, you be the judge. Centuries ago, Moses received counsel from his father-in-law Jethro, who advised him that the only way to properly lead the Jewish people was through sacred partnership with lay leaders. Moses then appointed elders from the community to help him lead his people. After installing these elders, God sent Moses up Mount Sinai, where he received the 10 Commandments and the traditions of our people. Moses returned to the Israelites, and since then our people have operated in that sacred partnership, a Brit Kehillah. As your rabbi, I commit myself to our sacred partnership. I commit myself to teaching Torah, to creating a vital and dynamic Jewish life in this temple and community, to guiding you and leading you as best as I can. I now ask you for your support and commitment as officers and trustees of Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. Together with pride and devotion, let us lead and perpetuate the sacred traditions of our people and of our temple.
In your sanctuary, O God, in the presence of this temple, we accept the honor and the responsibilities which have been conferred. We promise to serve our temple to the best of our ability, to uphold with dignity and courage the ideals for which it stands, to place the interest of the temple on the highest plane of communal endeavor, and conduct ourselves at all times as to bring glory and honor to our congregation, to you, to Israel, and to you. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. O God, strengthen us in our endeavors to fulfill this pledge. Amen.
Amen. Holy One of blessing, bestow your blessing on these leaders who have been elected to serve our temple. Instill in them insight and understanding, perseverance as well as patience. Inspire them to work together in pursuit of our community's greatest aspirations, even as they watch over its daily needs. O God, we are thankful for the dedication and the giving spirit that bring these individuals before you. prepared to devote their energies to your service and to the benefit of us all. Grant success to their endeavors and help them to lead us in the pursuit of our sacred mission. I charge you now to remember Israel's past, to cherish its heritage of Torah. I charge you to dream of Israel's future, to bring light into the world and glory to the name of God. I charge you to remember that the present is the narrow bridge that binds our glorious past to the future we seek to build. Amid the daily tasks of leading our temple, amid worries and frustrations that often arise from these responsibilities, I charge you to be mindful of the vital meaning of our temple's life. For president, the temple has elected Ina Horn. Upon your shoulders falls the task of highest leadership. The temple asks you to be loyal to the work not only of the synagogue, but of the entire Jewish people, being mindful that we are part of Klal Yisrael, the entire household of Israel. Remember, as you guide the leaders of this temple, that the effort of our temple must be linked at all times with the historic aspirations of Judaism. May God grant you strength and courage in pursuing these ideals. Now I invoke upon you the ancient blessing of our tradition. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's light shine upon you and be radiant and compassionate to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you now and always, and your family as well, be blessed with the greatest gift that God could give any of us, the gift of peace. Can you hear Ratzon? I declare you all installed as officers, trustees, and youth board of Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. Mazel tov. Okay. You can all turn off your cameras now. There you go.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I'm honored to stand before you this evening, albeit virtually. When I was nominated to become president of Anshe Emeth, this is not how I pictured my installation. I imagined my family, friends, and members of the congregation here with me in the sanctuary, and I looked forward to addressing all of you in person while seeing your faces full of encouragement looking back at me. Like for so many others, meaningful events in our lives have been altered due to the pandemic, so we accept, adjust, and move forward. I look at this evening as my opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself and how I got here. The first time I ever stood on this bema was 37 years ago, when, after studying with Rabbi Miller, I became a Jew by choice. I grew up in Roselle Park, New Jersey, in a very loving Italian Catholic family, and I had an extremely happy childhood. Growing up, I, along with my brother and sister, received a good religious education, just not in the Jewish religion. We attended church every Sunday, and I went to Catholic school for 12 years. In college, I majored in quantitative methods, and upon graduation, began a career as a strategic planning analyst for an international New York City-based company. My conversion story started out like many others. Non-Jewish girl starts dating Jewish boy. Anshe Emeth was the temple where Joe Whiteson and generations of his family belonged. When Joe and I talked about getting married in our future, we agreed to raise a Jewish family. I began to study with Rabbi Miller and would come to Anshe Emeth several times a week for religious studies, Hebrew class, and of course Shabbat services every Friday night. I went to the mikveh. In fact, Anther Cohen served as a witness, and on the day of my conversion, I knew I was as Jewish as if I had been Jewish from the day I was born. As I took on my new religious identity, my devout Catholic parents, Charles and Marion, were very supportive. They gave me what they always gave me, acceptance and unconditional love. Rabbi Miller and my parents had a special relationship. He never made them feel as though they were outsiders, and my parents always knew that I was in good hands. I miss these two special people every day, and I know how proud they would have been to have witnessed this day. Joe and I started our life together here in the Anshe Emeth community. We went on to have two wonderful children, Justin and Marin. I credit my mother-in-law, Paula Whiteson, and her mother, Blanche Nathan, both longtime members of the temple, for teaching me how to be a good Jewish mother. Judaism became my way of life, and Joe and I started our own family traditions. I enjoyed hosting Shabbat dinners and holiday celebrations, and I knew that I had made it when my mother-in-law told me that my potato latkes were the best she's ever eaten. Through the years, my connection to Judaism and Anshe Emeth grew stronger. I felt that I had found my way home, a place that was already deeply familiar to me. I began to embrace my new Jewish identity in many ways. In my early married life, I became active in the Middlesex County section of the National Council of Jewish Women, and through the years held various leadership positions there. I met some of my dearest friends through this organization, and together we participated in community service and social action events. I gave up my New York City job to spend more time with my two young children and became a teacher at a local Jewish preschool where I taught for over 20 years. One of my proudest accomplishments was enriching the lives of so many young children by bringing Jewish values and lessons to life in the classroom. Life doesn't always turn out the way you think it will. Surely the pandemic has taught us that, but I learned that lesson a long time ago. When my marriage with Joe ended, my life took a detour, but my love for Judaism did not. You might be surprised at how many people asked me if I would remain Jewish after my marriage ended. Truth is, Anshe Emeth remained a spiritual rock in my life. As fate would have it, as one door closed, another door opened. One day, I received a call from my dear friend, Sarah Levine, who said she wanted me to meet a fellow Anshe Emeth Board of Trustees member. His name was Jerry Horn. Sarah introduced us in the hallway of the Temple Religious School while waiting to pick up our children, and we soon started dating. Eventually, we were married here in the sanctuary by Rabbi Miller, and I became stepmother to Jerry's two children, Dana and Josh. Sadly, Dana and Josh's mother, Robin, passed away a short time Jerry and I were married, and our family went through a challenging period. Jerry and I worked hard to blend our families, with 4 children ranging in age from 8 to 18. And through the trials and tribulations of doing so, Anshe Emeth remained a source of strength in our lives. In reality, Anshe Emeth has been with us through good times and in difficult times, including all of our life cycle events, baby namings, bar and bat mitzvahs, weddings, and funerals. Jerry and I have been happily married now for 25 years. Our kids formed close sibling relationships with one another and have grown into caring and responsible adults. Looking back over the years, some of my fondest memories are of our holiday tables filled with family and friends. Everyone was welcome, including members of my non-Jewish family, my ex-husband, and my former in-laws. You see, titles such as ex, step, and the like were not important and quickly fell away. We opened our home and included all. That is what being Jewish meant to me. Like for many of you, Rabbi Bennett Miller has played a pivotal role in my Jewish journey. In addition to what he taught me about Judaism, he also taught me many life lessons. I feel so fortunate to have had him not only as my rabbi, but also as a trusted friend and mentor. His wisdom and guidance has gotten me through some tough times in my life, but he's also been with me through life's most wonderful celebrations, including officiating at the marriages of Justin and Lee, and Marin and Dave, and more recently, the bris of my grandson, Benjamin. He has had a personal relationship in the lives of 5 generations of my family. Of particular significance and following in my footsteps was when my daughter-in-law, Lee, studied with Rabbi Miller for her conversion. I genuinely believe his impact on my life will stay with me forever, and I thank him for starting me on this path nearly 40 years ago. I've known Rabbi Baisley since he came to Anshe Emeth 9 years ago as assistant rabbi. When Rabbi Miller decided to take emeritus status, I was fortunate, along with David Levine, to co-chair the search committee that resulted in Rabbi Baisley becoming our senior rabbi. Through the years, I've come to know him as an innovative, creative, and caring man who has a wonderful way of connecting and engaging with the congregation. His spiritual leadership, especially during the challenges of the pandemic, has kept Anshe Emeth strong and a place of meaning and purpose. Rabbi Baisley, I am certain that you will continue to inspire us, lead us, and guide us with your wisdom and vision for many years to come. I look forward to working with you even more closely, as well as deepening our friendship during my term as president. Though I've only known Rabbi Maya Glasser a short time, I feel fortunate to have worked with her on the religious school committee and to have learned from her sermons and to have listened to her beautiful singing voice during her time here at Anshe Emeth. Thank you, Rabbi Glasser, for the valuable contributions you have made to the congregation, and best of luck in your new position in Jacksonville, Florida. I first met Cantor Mark Stanton when he came in for an interview into my house for dinner a few days before the pandemic shut down everything. Cantor, I am happy to finally stand on the beam with you in person this evening. Thank you for the amazing job you have been doing of connecting with the congregation and beautifully leading us in prayer. Without question, it has been a difficult time to be in a leadership position. David Levine, our outgoing president, rose to the challenge during his term over the past 2 years. David, you have left big shoes for me to fill, and I mean that both literally and figuratively. Thank you for your guidance and support on my journey to reach this memorable day. Your friendship means the world to me, and I know I will always be able to turn to you as well as to all of our past presidents for advice and counsel. Since I joined the Board of Trustees in 2012, I have witnessed the tremendous commitment and dedication that our Executive Director, Heather Kibble, has for Anshe Emeth. She plays a critical role in helping the Temple manage the mounting challenges that all synagogues face, while allowing Temple leadership to focus on their core functions. Thank you, Heather, for all you do. With you as our Executive Director, I know that Anshe Emeth continues to be in excellent and caring hands. I am fortunate to have the talents of Allison Warzala and Dave Snyder as first and second vice presidents. I congratulate them, the officers, and the rest of the board, and I look forward to what the future brings as we work as a team together. The Temple building holds rich family history for me. It's hard to have been away from here for the past 15 months. As I arrived today and made my way up to the sanctuary, I made it a point to pass by the various tributes that grace the walls of the building. From the beautiful mosaic holding treasured family keepsakes, the memorial plaques on walls and pews, and even the stained glass window here in the sanctuary with my children's great-grandfather and great-uncle's names on it. They are all very dear to me and dear to my heart, and even though they are voiceless, they speak to me all the time and are a source of comfort, especially during this precarious time. The Temple shines when the pews are filled with people, when the choir is singing, and when you need to circle the building to find a place to park. And while we have all been quarantining in our homes over the past year or so, we also know that this is our home. Although we had to keep our distance, the pandemic helped bring us closer together. This can be seen with our streaming Shabbat service, creative educational programs, and most importantly, with our virtual onegs and social gatherings. Certainly, the pandemic will have a lasting effect on our Temple community going forward. We are dreaming of this year's high holiday services and know that no matter how different they may look, the essence of the days of all will surely be captured. There are so many unknowns, but I'm confident that the decisions made by our clergy, professional staff, and lay leaders will continue to make Anshe Emeth flourish. I would not be here today if it were not for the endless love and support of my husband, Jerry. I also thank my wonderful children, Dana, Josh, Melissa, Justin, Lee, Marin, and Dave, and my grandchildren, Melanie, Hazel, Benjamin, and Mia, who continue to inspire me. I love you all. I also thank you, the congregants and supporters of Anshe Emeth. You are the essence of this synagogue. As the new president of Anshe Emeth, I am committed to helping to ensure our temple's continued fiscal health and transparency, articulating our commitment to promote inclusivity, updating our technology without sacrificing our warm and welcoming atmosphere, and to a safe reopening while observing public health and safety practices. I am deeply grateful to be a part of our congregation, and I am proud to be the first Anshe Emeth president who is a convert. I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me, and as I begin my term as president, I am filled with energy and enthusiasm and look forward to the opportunity and challenges that lay ahead. Thank you for listening to me tonight, and I hope that one day I will have the opportunity to hear your stories. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
To generation, Ledor Vador, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our heart, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part, we are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning we will have the strength to say. Ledor vador nagid god lecha, Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Ledor vador these lips will praise your name. Ledor vador nagid god lecha, Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Ledor vador these lips will praise your name.
Mazel tov again to all of our new board members, officers, 80 youth, and president. And thank you as well, not only to those who are volunteering, but to the families of those who are volunteering, because this is never just one individual's passion and engagement, but that of the whole family. So with that in mind, I say, Jerry, I can't wait to work with you in the next couple of years too, and to see what tasks you will take on as first gentleman. But thank you to everyone, and I think the music that the cantor just sang was the perfect melody for that sense of renewal and rebirth that moments like these have in mind. Just a few announcements before we conclude our service. There's a lot happening in the month of May. I will not list it all out, but you can check out this week at Anshe Emeth for all the programs of this coming week, logins, and whatnot. There is a live silent auction that is going on. Visit often to watch the bidding and don't let your items slip by, but you can take a break on Shabbos. It's okay. The following Sunday, May 16th, from 1 to 3 p.m., we will be having a Shavuot drive-by and diaper drive. Diaper drive as in we're collecting diapers for the CDC. Please come on by. I know Team B'Teavon is working on some wonderful treats for Shavuot for all of you who stop by. Please bring some diapers with you for the CDC. This year, the CDC, our Anshe Emeth Community Development Corporation, has given out record numbers of diapers. I think we're close to, last I heard, we were going to hit 400,000, maybe 500,000 diapers, which is just shows the terrible cost of the pandemic, because usually we never even get close to 200. Maybe 150, I think, was the last big number. 150,000, that is. So we can see what the pandemic is doing to the community at large, and I think you can also tell that it has had great cost, because our sandwich making project led by Jay Goldberg and a whole slew of volunteers making sandwiches for Elijah's Promise this week has hit 25,000 sandwiches that have been made over the course of 1 year. It's been the 1 year anniversary right now of when they started this project to respond to the need of urgency, of hunger in our community. As always, if you would like to help support our making sandwiches for Elijah's Promise to give out to them, you can just go onto the temple website, make a general donation, and say it's for making sandwiches, and we'll know exactly where to put the money. And thank you. Also, a thank you tonight to David Levine, who will be running our slides. Thank you as well to all the stuff you've done for the last 2 years as our president, but thank you tonight as well for doing the slides. I want to encourage everybody to go onto YouTube and take a look at our congregational meetings so you can see all of the details of what's going on, as well as our thanks to David Levine for all of his work as temple president, and Ina's becoming president at the trustee meeting, as well as her speech as well. At the end of our service, we're going to do Kiddush and Motzi, and then we're going to log on to our Zoom Oneg, which is a separate call. Tonight's Zoom Oneg is co-sponsored by Stephanie and Andrew Krigsman in honor of their son Jacob's bar mitzvah, which will be tomorrow, as well as Ina and Jerry Horn in honor of, something happened to you tonight. I don't remember what it is. But in honor of her becoming president tonight, and also in honor of all of the incoming officers and Board of Trustee members. So please join us on the Zoom Oneg. If you would like to get links to any of the stuff, just go to aemt.net and click subscribe, and you'll be able to enter in your email address so you can come in, not just be a watcher of our congregational life, but be a member of our congregation and to see it from the inside, and we'd love to have you. On this Shabbat Eve, as we join together as one congregation to celebrate creation and the joy of life and living, we turn our thoughts to those in our community for whom life has become precarious because of health or hospitalization. O God of healing, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers together with the prayers of those who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen them the healing powers you place within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and their families, and may they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu hu yivarechet hacholim, Rufuat nefesh rufuat haguf, hashta'a b'ga'ala v'zman kariv v'nomar. Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless those in need of healing. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit as together we say, Amen.
Mishaberach avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov. Mishaberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mishaberach avotenu, Mishaberach imotenu. Hear our prayer.
Hear our prayers.
Hear our prayer.
Hear our prayers.
Hear our prayer.
Hear our prayers.
Hear our prayer.
And bless us as well.
Hear our prayer.
Hear our prayers.
Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. And bless us as well.
We continue now with the Aleinu on page 282 as we rise in either body or spirit.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei gdula le'otzei breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone and naught but the memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. With hearts that ache and are saddened, we name now those whom death has recently taken from us, those whose families are observing the Shloshim. We remember Ruth Fisher, wife of Marvin Fisher, mother of Kathy Fisher, and grandmother of Jessica Leff and Sarah Leff. We remember Barbara Schiffman Lampert, wife of Jerry Lampert of blessed memory, mother of Corey Schiffman, and mother-in-law of Abby Schiffman, and grandmother of Esther Schiffman and Sam Schiffman. We remember Lila Miriam Sieber, wife of Lawrence of blessed memory, mother of Iris Gottlieb, mother-in-law of Charles of blessed memory, and grandmother of Ross Gottlieb. We remember Pearl Reese, wife of Jerry Reese, mother of Larry Reese, mother-in-law of Barbara, and grandmother of Robert and Emily. We remember Jack Boris, husband of Adele of blessed memory, father of Janet and Amy and David, father-in-law of Christopher and Richard and Amy. We remember Toby Gutwillick, wife of Mayor of blessed memory, mother of Jack and Isaac and Faye and Lynn, mother-in-law of Sherry and Francine and Philip of blessed memory. And we remember Sina Faye Roth, who we laid to rest earlier today, wife of Raymond of blessed memory, mother of Alan, Monica, and Barry, mother-in-law of Elise and Bill, grandmother of Andrew, Terry, Jonathan, Romy, Julia, Maura, Will, Taylor, and Mallory, and great-grandmother of Riley. On this Shabbat Eve, we also recall those dear ones who died at this season in years past and whose names we record with love in our service this evening. Their names are forever bound to our hearts and are permanently inscribed throughout our building. And if you are here to say Kaddish for a loved one, please say their names as I look out to you and the camera. And even though we might not be able to hear those names, the one who needs to hear them all will hear them all. And I am remembering my father, Peter, and a dear friend from college who died the other week, Stephanie Myers. Zikronam livracha. May all their names and memories only be for a blessing. I invite all the mourners, if able, to rise for Kadisha Tome Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Ikadal v'kadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael, b'hagala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevrach leolam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, Leila minko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved.
Oseh shalom b'mromav,
Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
We close our service tonight with the singing of Adon Olam, found on page 321 in your Sidurim.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'et nasav v'chetzo kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiklot hakol levado imloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh Vehu yeh betifara, Yahu echad ve'ein sheni, lehamshilo, lehachbira, ve'li reshit, ve'li tachlit, ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisra. La 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 ya da la da 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 ya da 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 ya da la da 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 ya da la da 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 ya da la da 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 ya da 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 vehu eli vechai goali vetzor chavli ve'en tzara vehu nisi umanosli menat kosi beyom ekra. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya da 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 ya la 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 Beyado hafkid ruchi be'etishan beha'ira ve'lim ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ikra. Yidalai da da da, yidalai da da da, yidalai da da da, yada da da da, yidalai da da da, yidalai da da da, yidalai da da da, yidalai da da da.
It is good to have the Krigsman family back with us for Kiddush and Motzi. Jacob, I know that tomorrow is about you, but it's okay for your parents to be in the shot as well. They can be seen.
Actually, he was trying to zoom in on the holiday.
Never a bad thing to do.
You get it.
ויהי ערב, ויהי בוקר, יום השישי. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחיל לנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen. L'chaim.
I still haven't figured out how to do that with a mask. And I'm going to ask our bar mitzvah boy, Jacob, you can unmute yourself and lead us in Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.